When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is to drink my coffee. Imagine, by the time you finish your morning coffee, Odoo could have already all your bank transactions waiting for you. No import, no manual entry, no wasted clicks. That's the promise of bank synchronization. My name is Valène Delobel, and I'm Functional Support Analyst here at Odoo and the main expert of bank synchronization. And today, I will show you what bank synchronization is, what's new, and how to troubleshoot any issues that may arise. Here is the QR code to submit your question. Feel free to scan it, and we will take the time to answer them by the end of the presentation. Don't worry, the QR code will be available at the end of the presentation. But first of all, what is the bank synchronization? One of the basics of the accounting is the reconciliation. It means matching a transaction with a payment to make sure it corresponds to the right accounting records. But how create a transaction in Odoo? There are three different ways. Either you can create the transaction manually, either you can import the transaction from a file that you receive from the bank, for example, or finally, you can use the bank synchronization, of course. Thanks to the bank synchronization, the transactions are directly on your Odoo database. You might be wondering, what if my bank is not supported? Well, Odoo supports already 26K banks, which is a lot, so I hope your bank will be supported, but if it's not the case, never hesitate to contact the Odoo support team, and we will see what we can do. But how does Odoo connect to the banks? Here is a simple diagram showing the relationship between Odoo and the banks. As you can see, there is a wall of chain of communication happening. Let's see how it works. First, let's imagine that I'm a Odoo user and I would like to connect my bank. I will connect to my Odoo database and connect to Odoo Finance Proxy, also called Odoo Fin. Imagine that Odoo Fin is like a secure gateway maintained by Odoo. Then, Odoo Fin will connect to one of the 5 providers that we have, which is Plaid, Ponto, Yodlee, Enable Banking, and Saltage. Depending on where the bank is located, you will have one provider supported instead of another one. For instance, Plaid is mainly supporting US bank, Ponto, European banks, and so on. Then, the providers will connect to the banks, collect the data, and then put them all the way back until the beginning of the chain, which is, of course, the database. So now that you understand better what bank synchronization is, let's check how it works in an Odoo database. So first of all, let's initiate a bank connection. One of the new tools is the new button here to create a bank account. If I click on it, I will have the possibility to create a new journal. Of course, here it's a bank journal, so let's create a bank journal. It's loading. Okay, so here I will have a drop-down list with all the banks supported, organized per database countries. For this demo, I will use the bank Odoo BankSync demo, which is a test bank that you can safely use if you want to try out the bank synchronization, and it's totally free. Let's connect. Then I will proceed to access the data. Automatically, I will have all the bank accounts that can be retrieved. For this demo, I will use the first one, but I can select all of them. And click on Connect Bank. Automatically, Odoo will show me all the transactions that have been fetched. If I would like to have more information on a specific transaction, you can just open it, and here, this is also a new feature. You have access to the Discuss logo. You can click on it, and in the chatters, you will see the transaction details. So if you would like to have more information, you can always check here if the providers give us more information. You can either access it from this button here, but also on the chatter here. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, now let's imagine that you would like to know if a transaction came from the online sync. You can go in List View and add the field Online Transaction Identifier. If this field is populated, it means that it came from the online sync. For example, if I'm creating a transaction manually, as you can see, this field is empty and cannot be added. Once the bank journal is created, it will fetch by default every 12 hours. If you don't want to wait that time, you can always fetch manually the transaction by going into the journal here and click on Fetch Transaction, and if you have transaction, it will be fetched. Now that you have the synchronization done, let's imagine that you have missing transaction. Can happen. We have a great tool to identify them easily. So, to do so, just go in the three dots here on the transaction, and in the Action button, you have the possibility to find the transaction, the missing transaction, sorry. You can select here the journal from which you think you have missing transaction, and also the start date, so let's say 1st of August, and then click on Fetch. Automatically, Odoo will show me all the missing transactions he identified, but as you can see here, I do have some pending transactions. Unfortunately, I cannot import those transactions yet because it's not posted by the bank. As soon as the bank will post them, then I can select the transaction and click on Import Transaction. So you can now easily find missing transaction if you do have. Now, let's imagine that you do have duplicate transactions. We do also have a great tool to identify them. So let's go on in another journal, click on Transaction, then Action, and find duplicate transaction. You can also select the starting date from which you think you have duplicate transactions, so like this. And as you can see, Odoo will group the possible duplicate it thinks you have per blocks. So it will check the dates and the amount. But if you think there are duplicates, just select the item and then click on Select, Delete Selected, OK. It's super fast and it's done. It may happen that the connection fails because the credentials need to be updated. This is a restriction coming from your bank to confirm your identity and allow access your data. But it's super easy to fix it. Let's go to my online synchronization, and here I have one synchronization in error. So it's possible that it's the problem. So let's open it, and here I can just click on Update Credentials, retry, access the data. So here, as it's a test bank, it's quite fast. And now, if I'm coming back here, it's OK, it's working again. Another information that you may know is that some banks don't allow the automatic synchronization. So it means that you can use the bank, you can synchronize them, but you will have to fetch manually. In the chatters here, you will have an error message saying that you need to disable the automatic synchronization. It means just untick this box here, and then go back on the dashboard, and every time you need the transaction to be fetched, click manually here. It's just a restriction coming from the bank, but you can use it. Last but not least, an Odoo connection might you might need to delete a connection if you have a specific case. For example, when we identify the same client ID, so the same bank connection, in two different databases. For instance, if you have an upgrade database or if you restore a backup and so on, Odoo will block the connection for security reason, okay? And you will be asked to redo the connection. It's super fast as well. You just need to delete the connection, so I will show you how to do that. Go to the configuration, online sync. So let's imagine that the synchronization I would like to delete is this one. I select the line, action, delete. Once it's done, let's redo the connection. It's really important to do it from this dashboard to make sure you will link the connection to the right journal. So here, in this case, I can directly go there and click on Connect Bank and redo the process as I showed you at the beginning of the presentation. All right. So as you have seen, there are different ways to solve the issue on your own. But of course, as I explained you at the beginning of the presentation, we do have a lot of intermediaries in the process of the bank synchronization. So if an issue happened on the provider side or on the bank side, there is nothing much you can do, and so just contact the Odoo support team, and we will contact their support team. But bank synchronization is not only about receiving transactions. It's also about making payments, which is a new feature I would like to show you today. It calls payment initiation. For the moment, it's only available with Ponto, with the payment method SEPA credit transfer. How does it work? Basically, you can just send the payment directly from your Odoo database to the bank. No more downloading XML file from your Odoo database to the bank. It's super easy. I will show you how it works. Sorry. Okay, so first of all, I would just change the proxy in Sandbox for the test, but it's okay. So then I will do the connection. So again, click on the bank journal. And for this demo, I will use another bank, which is Gringotts. And then, as I told you, it's only available with Ponto. So here, that's why I'm redirected to Ponto. And then I will sign it. I will use an SMS code for the 2FA. So I hope I will have, yeah, I have it. So, all right. Then I will just need to connect to my fake bank. You will have to insert the card in the bank DigiPass and press the e-signature after putting your password. At this moment, you can select all the bank accounts that you would like to connect. So today I will connect everything. And then I confirm the access to my data. So let's accept. Again, I can remove or add accounts that I would like to connect to my Odoo database. So for example, I can just click here, or no, I would like to use it, so keep like this. And authorize Ponto to access your accounts. Again, I will have all the bank accounts that can be retrieved. So for this case, let's connect to the first one. And now it's connected. In the meantime, I would like to show you a configuration that needs to be activated in the settings first, before creating a payment, which is the SEPA credit transfer here. It's really important to activate it before creating any payments. And now, let's create a vendor bill. So, I will create a vendor bill for some chocolates. And the chocolate is really, really not expensive, so 1 cent. Okay, so the bill is created. Let's pay it. At this moment, it's really important to select the journal that you just created the connection. So I remember it was this one. And also the right payment method, which is SEPA credit transfer. Let's create the payments. Now go back in the dashboard. And as you can see, I have one payment to send via SEPA. So this is my payment. Click on it. And let's create the batch. Now, I have a new button here called Initiate Payment. So this is the button to send the payments directly from your database to your bank. So click on it. And you will be automatically redirected to Ponto to authorize these payments. Again, the 2FA, to be sure it's really you that makes the payment. All right. And then I will have all the information about the payment I just made. Let's read it together. So this is the current balance of my accounts. This is the reference of the batch payment in the database. So if I'm coming back on the database, it's exactly the same. The total amount of the batch, the request execution date, the number of transactions. So here in this case, it was only one transaction. And then the payment list. So I have my payment here with the vendor bill reference. Let's sign it. So I can connect, again put the card in the DigiPass. And then it's all done. So imagine if you have plenty of payments, in 2 clicks, it's done. Let's go back in the Odoo database, and here, as it's a test environment, it will just be in status pending, but when it's real, it will be accepted or posted. So that was it for today. So thanks to Odoo, you can now synchronize your transaction, but also find duplicate and missing transactions super easily. But you can also now send directly payment from your database to your bank. And next time, think of Odoo. When you drink your coffee in the morning, Odoo could have already all your bank transactions waiting for you. Thank you. So you can just scan the QR code if you want for the Q&A session. I will invite my colleague Florian Gilbert, which is the main developer about the bank synchronization. So don't hesitate to ask also technical questions if you do have.
Hello, Valen. Thank you. Thank you for that interesting talk. We have a lot of questions actually. The first question is, we noticed that payments that are being done over the weekend by customers aren't coming in the bank sync. Do you want to answer or?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So we need more information actually, because is it not coming at all, or is it not coming during the weekend? If it's not during the weekend, that's totally normal, because in the banks you usually have to wait during the weekend because they are off, and banks have to validate payments during the weeks. So
yeah, I would say the same, and also it's exactly the same process when you do payment on your bank. The payment is not directly on the counterpart bank, so for the bank sync, it's the same.
Okay, I saw that the answer not coming at all. I think it could be interesting to come to the support booth or just after the talk, and we can find a solution together. Next question about LATAM. So we don't have bank sync in LATAM. In the MX office, we are looking to host a solution. Do you see it viable? I think it's a question for me, more for the PO actually. But actually, we have proxy, and I think it's better to use the proxy. Of course, we can help you to add new provider, but you have to follow the process and just come with us and discuss with us about that. Other question: can we proceed USD payment? How to add bank account, SWIFT, and Fedwire number to the contact in Odoo?
I did not hear the beginning, sorry.
Can we process USD payment? How to add bank account, SWIFT, and Fedwire number to the contact in Odoo?
Yeah, it's quite easy. If you want, you can go to the support booth. After, I can go to the support booth and show you if you want. I don't know who is the question, but yeah, you can come to the support booth and I will show you. Okay?
Okay, perfect. For the question about process USD payment, for now it's only on Ponto and it's via SEPA, so I think it's only in Euro. Is it possible to make a 4i security process directly in Odoo without Ponto GUI? Good question. It could be a cool feature, but we have to discuss it with the product owner. I don't know if it's in the room. No, I think he's at the booth, so it could be a nice feature, but we have to discuss it with the product owner. Okay. Other question: can I fetch transaction from years ago?
Unfortunately, it depends on the bank and the providers. Generally, the limit is 3 months. So if the limit is 3 months, it's better to import the transaction, but you can always try, and sometimes it's longer than 3 months, for example, 6 months for some banks.
Okay, thank you. About missing and duplicate transaction, they are asking if it will be available in older version. No, sorry, no. Because if we want to add this version, this feature to the old version, we have to break the stable policy, and partner won't like it, so we can do that. But I think the missing one is already available in 17.
Yes,
if
and
I'm not wrong.
The other one, the duplicate, it's in 18.2.
Yeah,
if I'm
so 19
not wrong.
Actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Fetching transaction takes a lot of time. Is it normal?
So it depends if you do have a lot of transaction, but now we have a great tool that you can always fetch transaction and do something else at the same time. So it will fetch in the background, let's say. So it depends. If it takes really a long time, you can always contact the support team and we can increase the limits. Maybe it can solve, but normally, yeah, it's normal.
Okay. We have a small question about payment with ACH, but no, sorry, it's only via SEPA for now.
Yeah.
Paying with Odoo needs always confirming in Ponto.
So yeah, you will need to confirm the payment because when you are on your database, imagine that someone is connecting to your database and can process any payments. So it's really to confirm your identity. So yeah, it's mandatory. It's exactly the same when you connect to your bank. You will have to put your data. So it's exactly the same.
Okay. Sometimes the syncing always take 4 days behind for BNP Paribas. I think it's a question to ask to the booth or to the support directly.
You can also come to the booth because it depends on the provider. So we can check the logs together and we'll see what happened.
There is a question about KBC. Maybe we will discuss it after the talk because it's more like a personal problem. So no problem, we can discuss it after. Or are duplicates avoid when I reconnect or reset a sync?
That's a good question. So as I show you, we have the online transaction identifier that identifies the transaction. So when you will redo the connection, Odoo will check if the online transaction identifier has been already used. So this is the method to avoid the creation of duplicates.
Okay, thank you. Can you select the start date?
The start date
for each transaction.
So when you will do the first synchronization, no, but you can always, I can show you in the demo, you can always change the dates by going on the online sync, and you can change the dates from which you think you would like to connect, so for example 1st of September, and then click on fetch, and so you can try to sync in the past. So here this is disconnected, but you can just change the date here and fetch transactions, yeah.
Yeah. I will add something. So you have to know that if it's a first synchronization for a new journal, we will try to fetch all the transactions since the beginning. I mean, since the beginning, it will depend of the country and the region because, for example, in Europe, it's only, before it was only 90 days, now it's 180 days. So we'll try to fetch all these transactions. And for existing journal, we will fetch since the last transaction, for the day of the last transaction in the journal.
Yeah.
We are doing sync for payment service provider. Isn't it possible to have the same kind of integration as the 5 proxies you already have? Good question, actually. It's more technical. I don't want to create a war with the people that made the payment provider, but yeah, I think it could be a good idea. But it's not in the banking and I would say in the accounting team to handle that, sorry. Can it connect to Swiss bank? Good question.
Yeah, so I can start and you can continue if you have technical information. So indeed, you can connect normally Swiss bank, but we do have some issues with Swiss bank because they are not using the PSD2 method. They are mainly using the scrapping method, which is not a stable usage of the bank synchronization. So if the Swiss bank is available, you can try, but it may fail sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, we are trying to implement a new provider for the Switzerland, but it's very hard to implement it because we have to follow a lot of rules. So it's a plan, but yeah, we don't have any ATA for that, sorry. Sale from POS often show twice. I manually have to remove the duplicates. Any solution?
In POS?
Yeah, sales from POS often show twice. I don't know exactly. I think it's more a question for the support for the booth.
Yeah, again, you can come to the booth because I'm not sure I understand the question, but if you have a specific use case, never hesitate to come to us.
Okay. Is it safe to use the proxy? Do they comply with data security requirement? Yeah, it's a question for me actually. Yeah, we are following the same rules than Odoo, so you can find all the information on production.odoofin.com/privacy, and you will have all the information. I think it's also available on odoo.com/privacy to have the information about what we do with the data. You have to know that we don't save any banking data. It's only technical data to connect you to the bank. Yeah, and
last question, I think.
Yeah. Last question? Oh, okay. When Ponto and Saltage both are supported by my bank, what's your recommendation? Which provider to use? Is there any pros and cons between them unless the cost? Oh, that question could have a problem with provider later.
We have Ponto in the room, I think. So yeah, it depends. Sometimes a connection is more stable with one provider instead of the other one. it's up to you. If you're okay to pay, go with Ponto. If you don't want, go with Soltage. Both should work normally. So the only reason to use Ponto also is that you can contact their support team. The other, like Soltage, Plaid, Yodlee, and Enable Banking, we have as a support team we have to contact their support team. You are not allowed to do it. So this is also an argument.
Yep. And Ponto is a Belgian team, so if you want to help Belgium or just because it's better to communicate with Belgian, I think you can go with Ponto. But both are correctly good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Florian. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed this talk and enjoy the experience.